What is up, Dodgers Nation? It's your boy, FRG, and we're coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is Blue Heaven Podcast. Wait, where's my button? Oh, there it is. I'm just going to keep going all day long, throwing a couple of coins. Like I said, I am Clint. I'm Clint Pasillas. You can find me at RealFRG. That is my handle. This is my first time being on air today in any capacity.
In any capacity.
Any capacity. This is correct.
Right. You really got that intro down, by the way.
No, I was terrible.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I was getting at.
That's all right. Drink.
That guy over there is FRG, the real one, not the fake one.
Don't trust the fake.
Don't confuse that. Yeah, that's a real issue. I'm Brook. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram because I made them the same. I don't know if you caught that a couple of months back. At BrookMe3.
Were they different?
They were different for a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. They were different for a little bit, but,
Proud
for
of you.
consistency's sake, you got to make them the same. At BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. You can hit us up there. What are we talking about today?
So on today's show, it's Harper Watch that never goes away. So Harper Watch 2019 still, or again, or just spare us. I decided to call it the Lemon Law with Clayton Kershaw. That'll be a fun topic. The legend of DJ Peters grows day by day.
Day by day.
But first, we do want to remind you guys can subscribe to this podcast. Tell them where.
You can subscribe to it on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, pretty much everywhere podcasts are found. And I would highly recommend it because I am not biased at all.
This is true. He's never been on the show. You can also watch and interact with this live stream every Tuesday night. Twitter and Periscope, Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Eventually, we're going to get on Instagram. But Instagram is just so stupid the way they have it set up. Like, if you guys want to see us, right, we have to tilt it. And then how are we going to read the comments,
Right. We have to tilt is the biggest problem.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we could just have it set up otherwise on the side. But
no, that's too easy.
So before we get started, you guys let us know. Hit us up in those comments. Let us know where you are representing Dodgers Nation tonight.
Before we get into the juicy stuff, the real juicy stuff, we have a huge announcement. One of the biggest announcements
I have a button for that.
we have ever had in the history of Blue Heaven.
There's no
hen? No, that was really unsatisfying. There you go. Our friend of the show shirt is here.
It's happened. The audience is going wild.
We've been talking about this for before I was born.
Before you were born.
Which was not that long ago.
1992.
93. That's okay.
Dickety 2.
Dickety 2 is good.
Yeah. Well, Dickety. We couldn't steal. The Kaiser stole our 9, so we couldn't use. See, damn kids.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, we also got our Tommy Lajobu. There it is. Find the hole. Anyway, this does nothing for the podcast side. I'm just saying.
But we have some great shirts, and we're going to be at spring training, which we will also talk about coming up soon. All of these shirts, I'm going to wear all of them at once. And
just as the day goes on, you're going to take off a shirt.
Yeah, just kind of peel it off as the hours pass by. So you're like, oh, I recognize that guy. And you're like, wait a minute.
Tasty.
He's wearing a different shirt than when I saw him earlier.
Tasty. So Real Gage Freeman, Monrovia, currently in Melbourne, Australia. Wow. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight in Australia. We'll give that.
Is it daytime in Australia?
I don't know.
That guy says he's from New Zealand.
That's what it is. Ricky says Peters is the truth, of which I do happen to agree. Plus 6'4" in New Zealand. Hey, we don't know your weird things out there. Give us a fake area code.
Plus 64? Is that like the dialing code?
Thanks for hanging out
like
with us, YouTube. Tony Moon. We got Not Your Part of the Scene, Las Vegas on YouTube. Anything happening in Las Vegas? Anything? We hear there's something that's going on over there.
I think you're not supposed to talk about it or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosario in Santa Fe, Argentina. There's a lot of parts right there.
Wow. We are Mr. and Mr. Worldwide.
I love Mr. Worldwide.
Dale.
What are we talking about? Average? What average are we talking about? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
His average. I think they're saying he's average.
I am quite average.
His average.
Bakersfield, California, Delaware, San Antonio, Texas. We got somebody representing from Kluber.
Wow. All the way from Corey Kluber.
That's impressive. And from ATL. So we're seeing also a good enough amount. Oh, fake SD Dodger checking in the 858. Thanks for hanging out, fake Tim. We do appreciate that. Appreciate you hanging out. So the big news, of course. Harper will just not go away. He will also not go somewhere. I think he learned that he can get a lot of notoriety by just not signing anywhere, and he's not going to get the vitriol of the masses for his terrible average, or if he starts poorly in spring or whatever it is.
That was very well said. I was impressed by that.
I know several words.
So I've been told, allegedly.
As I drink my beverage here from my cool koozie from our friends over at Vintage Brand.
You really can't beat these koozies if you're looking for a vintage Dodger koozie.
By the way, I do got to say this right here. And guys, it's going to happen. Okay, I'm not getting it. Says Harper to the Dodgers just announced. You're not going to do that. Hey, Zed, make sure you're on that. You got to be refreshing, making sure.
Don't do that to us, guys.
Speaking of refreshing, this
that.
delicious beer. I'm getting word we do not have a beer sponsor. But I finally was able to put this up. I picked this up from our friend Chris Fabregas on the internet. That awesome, what is it, from World Series Game 3, that beautiful skyline. So I put that up there as a temporary spot because we are moving to a new studio, gang. Just saying. It's going to happen. It's going to look pretty full. So, Harper, you want to tell us a little bit about that news, even though I'm the one that broke it for Dodgers Nation when I saw about it,
when you saw
at midnight.
When you saw about it?
I saw about it, as they say on the internet.
Yeah, so, okay, we've been talking about Bryce Harper for, I'm not wearing a watch, so that's less effective. But I think since before the last season started, I think we were talking about it. Yeah, so it looked like it was pretty much a lock that he wasn't coming to L.A., and then it looked like a lock that he might be coming to L.A., and then now we're back to the Dodgers are actually pretty heavy into onto it, and it's looking like it's down to 2 teams.
Yeah, we
from
were
the outside.
We were on the first and goal line, and then I think somebody fumbled, and then the Patriots did something, and then Robert Kraft did something that we're not going to talk about.
He did something.
Good job. Just mash everything.
I like how you worked that in. Yeah, it was really.
Hey,
impressive.
it just sort of happened. I don't know, man.
Yeah, flow of the show. You never know.
Make it all about you. So. Yeah, that was the thing. The Dodgers front office, which it turns out was Andrew Friedman along with Dave Roberts, and surprisingly to me, Mark Walter, met with Bryce Harper in Vegas late Sunday night, and this was after a win. It was seriously, that was a shock to me that it was like after a game.
So why do you think Mark Walter went? Like, what's the thought? Is that because of what Kasten said earlier?
I think because he writes the checks.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
A little bit of that.
He was just like, let's talk about the limit here.
But that was also the funny thing, too. It was that, I think the day before in L.A. Times, I believe it was Castillo that came out with the story about Walter saying he never issued any sort of mandates that they can't go over the payroll. They have free reign to do whatever they want, and that Friedman and Roberts run the team, and they do everything they can to win. Of course, all of it to sound like BS.
Yeah, I mean, take it as you will, but
as the Dodgers do very well.
They are very good at PR.
Yes.
I will say that about the Dodgers. They are very good at PR, and that's one of the reasons they maintain their fan base so well, honestly. So you can't really knock them for it. Also, as we mentioned, we do not have a beer sponsor, but if you're looking. We are willing.
Yeah, we are looking. We are desperate.
We will never turn down free beer.
Although I did find a spot down the road from here that charges $5 for 4 of these wonderful tall cans, and it fits right into this lovely Vintage Brand
into this
koozie.
Perfect.
I knew this episode was going to be this way. It's been a long day, guys, because like we've said, and we're going to get into more. We're going to the spring training.
Oh, we are going.
There's
to
a lot of
spring
prep
training.
because we're going to do it hard.
That's what she said. But it's it's an exciting time. We get to talk Harper, which is great, and it makes you pull out your hair a little bit. But we also get to look forward to spring training. Yes. But we also have to keep in mind that we don't know when Harper's going to sign, and there's a good chance he signs on our way out to Arizona. The Harper Watch. So, talking a little bit more about it, there's a little bit of fallout. Let's say they do sign Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
And let's say it doesn't matter. We don't have to talk terms of the contract. Let's say they sign him even
$1 billion.
to any deal. Yeah, whatever. 1 year, 10 years.
28 minutes.
Doesn't matter. What kind of fallout does that have in terms of the current build of the roster?
Well, we've seen the way the team is kind of coming together in spring. Where early in these games, you see a lot of the kids. People are really getting their fair shake of DJ Peters and already loving that guy. We'll get into Peters more in a minute, but Oh man, it sounds bad.
Give him more Peters.
The more, if you get somebody like Harper, that just makes where do you play DJ in a year or two? Where does Verdugo go in that situation? Peterson has obviously been super huge on the trading block all off season, so he's gone somewhere, some way, somehow. Is Bellinger's not gonna be the right fielder anymore. He'd probably be in left unless they move him back to first. So now what does that mean for Muncy? Is Muncy getting more time at second base? There's just a lot of moving parts, which again, as we've said, everybody said 1,000,000,002 times, it's a good problem to have. And anytime you can sign somebody who is, air quote, a generational talent, which we debunked a couple weeks ago with Rick, friend of the show, at Rick _K21. Hey, I remember that.
That's pretty good. Also, we gotta make sure we get Rick a Ferris Bueller's
friend of the show shirt.
Well, yeah, friend of the show shirt too, but also a Ferris Bueller's Day Off bobblehead.
Are you saying because we'll be there for him when the rain starts?
We will at the Quakes game in April.
April. Just yell it.
Zed, the producer, says April.
Yeah, April 1928 is when we will. Wait, no, I'm getting word.
Yeah.
So
also,
Harper will not be there
in Rancho.
Yeah, he will not be there in Rancho.
Okay, well, here's the other part of the fallout. We've talked about for such a long time, Alex Verdugo has not gotten the chance to play, and people have always expected that this is now going to be the year that he gets the chance to play with Kemp being traded, with Puig being out the door, wearing red and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be the year that Verdugo finally gets a shot. If they sign Harper, you can talk about trading Peterson and then not having him on the team, which would make more sense to me than trading Verdugo, and do with that what you will. But what does that do for Verdugo? He goes back to a bench role. What does that mean?
Yeah, you can't bench Verdugo, and I know we're going to start to see that. Verdugo, it's going to be the people saying, well, why don't they just go out and get Kluber now? If the Indians were going to trade Kluber, he would have been traded months ago. It wasn't going to happen. That Kluber was not moving anywhere out of Cleveland since November. That was going to be there. He was going to be there. He's going to be their opening day starter. He's their ace. They love him.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Plus, they did they found a way to offset some money and still make themselves kind of contenders in a way, because the AL Central is weak as hell. They're not doing anything. They don't have to worry about anything there. Even if somehow the White Sox, who are allegedly in on a Harper, and they were allegedly in on Machado, even if they happen to get Harper and then they go sign Keuchel or whatever, the White Sox are still going to be trash. So that's not ever something to really worry about. But I do have to sidebar here, because I saw this is a true friend of the show for sure on Twitch, Cybernetic _Slayer, saying, when are the Buell Dog shirts? What up, Zed? Where are my Buell Doggy Dog?
The off-camera man can answer that, and he nods.
He just nods.
So that means yes.
He only knows how to put his hand on camera, but not really yeah, there you go. Sources can confirm.
That's a good question.
Buell Dog.
Buell Dog.
Hey, patent pending. That's Dodgers Nation original Buell Dog. I've been the guy calling him Buell Dog.
If you steal that, he will come to your house. I don't know what he's going to do when he gets there, but he'll just come to your house, and believe me, he gets
that
there.
Ain't no fun. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there? Ain't no fun. It's a Snoop Dogg song.
I got the reference. Yeah, that's really good. So here's a question that was asked on Facebook from Charles Hamill. He says, "My question to all the people that stan Harper," which is becoming a really big thing on the Twitter,
learned.
As the young people are saying.
As the hip cats.
What are we going to say if we make it to the World Series again this year with Harper and lose with him on the team? What are you doing? So,
well, then it's
first of all, that's kind of a ridiculous question. That's what I would say. That's how I answer your question.
I was going to actually clap for you. Then I remember. We have an entire audience.
Yeah, it just kind of gets.
We have an entire audience. I promise.
To say that would be something standing in the way of signing Harper, I think is pretty ridiculous. You want to do everything you can to win. The Dodgers front office made that pretty clear by saying that. They haven't necessarily backed it up with the money quite yet. They have backed it up with a few prospect trades, because you guys tend to think, or a lot of fans in general, I don't want to generalize anybody, but a lot of fans in general,
a lot of you people. What do you mean, you people, bro?
tend to think that the Dodgers are prospect huggers. That's simply not been the case. They've traded away a ton of talent.
They hug the right prospects.
The right ones. They hug Bellinger. They hug Seager. they hugged Buehler. Thank God they hugged Walker Buehler, because for so long people were like, you know what? He had the elbow surgery. He's a big risk right now. Let's just get rid of him, get whatever we can for him. People were talking about trading for Darvish for him. People were talking about trading for Verlander for him. You know, that Verlander trades that we missed still hurts for obvious reasons, but I would take 10 years of Walker Buehler over that any day. Oh, and MLB Insider announced the deal. We're not talking about MLB Insider on our show because
hey, you know, I mean,
he's got real big baseball type sources.
Yeah, he's met a guy who knows a guy one time who traded for him on MLB 18
on the show.
On the show. Oh, yeah, that's funny. No, we try not to go with exceptionally outlandish sources, and we, as Dodgers Nation, we try our best to not directly source anything. You know, we go to the guys who get paid to do it, who have their ear, you know, on the floor. They have their pulse in the butt, whatever the kids do. I don't know. I'm not a real media guy, as you can see.
Oh, yeah. I would like to point out Sandro Enriquez says it's Taco Tuesday at Cooper's today. So thank you,
Sandro.
I appreciate
what's going
that.
on, buddy? It's a friend of mine.
I don't know where
show.
Cooper's is.
That is in Lakewood.
Is it in Lakewood?
Yes.
Oh.
Cooper's.
We are not in Lakewood.
Those tacos, they don't do it for me anymore, Sandro.
But it's Tuesday.
I do know the buckets there over at Cooper's are real. Wait, we're not getting. Cooper's is terrible. No, I do. I've watched. I was at Cooper's on Juan Uribe's walk-off NLC or NLDS home run game. Yes.
That's
when he missed 2 bunts and said, "F you, Jobu, I'll do it myself." Tommy LaJobu.
Oh, look at that tie-in. Perfect tie-in.
No, I'm not wearing a tie. It's only a shirt.
No, that's good. All right. Jessa Moore says, who wouldn't hug Buehler?
Oh, man. Buehler, he's a nice boy. He's a very nice boy. Good boy.
Good old country boy.
So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be the big thing is all the moving parts that come with a potential, you know, everything right now, it's knock on plywood, a potential Harper signing. It's, you know, beyond that, what's the plan if it doesn't happen? Because clearly signing him is sort of a fallback plan. That's what it's felt like to me this entire offseason. Right now, they've been sort of blessed the opportunity, despite the Brinks truck showing up yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever it was at Camelback Ranch. They're not trying to back the Brinks truck up for him. They don't want to go 10 years, and now they're saying, hey, you know, you've been out here for this long. Let's have some conversations on our terms. We know you don't want to play on the East Coast. We know you want to play for a winner. Let's figure it out. Let's sit down. Let's talk. And like you pointed out on Twitter that just hearing Dave Roberts say something has a different effect on you.
It does, especially since he was so, you know, I don't even know what a good word for it is. I used a fancy word that's used a lot in politics, which I will not use here because that's going to make everyone go away. But he just sounded like he was like, yeah, I don't really care about it. And it's like, it's Bryce Harper. Obviously, he cares about it.
So he sounded like a Nancy boy?
Nancy boy, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Way to get political, Brook.
Okay, but just the fact that he was so hands-off and careful with it told me that there was much more going on than you know, met the eye. When you talk about these owners who have knowingly met with Harper or knowingly met with Machado, and then they talked about it, they were like, it was a great talk. We talked, you know, about our plan. We talked about our future with him. We talked about how we're going to build our roster around him. And then you get to them, people knowing that they met with Harper. There was no denying that, and it was a good meeting. That's it. That's all they really had to say about it.
Yeah, and there's no reason to go beyond that. The Dodgers aren't that team. They're not. Who's the new guy running the Mets? Who was like a former agent? Brody Van Wagenen was all out there. And saying, oh, the Mets are going to be the team to beat, whatever, all this, whatever he said. You know, it's literally said, whatever, all this. I know, I'm super quotable, guys.
Whatever, all this.
But that's just not the way the Dodgers operate, and they've never operated like that. The closest we've gotten of recent vintage has been the Stan Kasten quotes about, you know, real inside baseball stuff. And you guys wouldn't understand and all this kind of whatever. But the real question from me that I did kind of, I'm just going to say I threw it out on the Twitter machine yesterday, because I've seen all off season, and it hit a point of a fever pitch of frustration, if you will.
I like that.
The awful, well, I mean, they look great, but the stupid, in theory, edits of Bryce Harper wearing number 34. Not going to happen.
Does not make any sense unless he's not playing on the Dodgers.
Well, even if he was playing, why would they let him wear number 34?
No, yeah, he would wear it anywhere else.
Oh, okay,
yeah. He's not wearing it in L.A. He's not wearing it at the Rivian, guys. No. And I think people gloss over that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But there is a very, very rich history behind number 34.
The silence says it all.
That's all you need to know. Fernando wore it, man. Fernando. You cannot take that guy's number.
Are you trying to say Fernando Valenzuela?
Nobody ever should wear 34 except in LA except Shaq.
Dude, they still have They still have
Diesel.
They still Can you dig it? They still have 34 jerseys for sale at top of the park.
They say Fernando.
They still sell. They say Valenzuela.
They say Fernando.
Damn, I'm trying to overdo it, but
you're trying too hard. Pasillas. Clint Pasillas.
Si se puede. Anyway, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. So you guys pick. What's the number? Jess is very surprised that Brook knows Espanol. Muy poquito. Yeah. You work in a warehouse.
I do.
You?
Yeah, I know a lot of Spanish. Surprisingly, yeah.
To your white friends over there.
All my white friends that speak Spanish there. Yes.
Yes.
So we had an interesting. People have been suggesting.
I know why he knows Spanish. He's just out of high school.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and they teach
very
that.
Clearly.
Anyway.
Just out of high school.
Hey, whoa! Don't get a tummy ache there with that cola.
Okay, so the suggestion that we had, I think it was actually Zed. I don't really want to give Zed too much credit today because we've talked about him a lot.
I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah, but I think he said Harper would wear 0. Did he say that?
I think it was a 0, double 0.
Double 0.
Double 0.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. When's the last time a Dodger wore 00? Has a Dodger ever worn 00?
No, it wasn't. That was Brian Wilson, right? He wasn't just 1-0. He was 0.
Yeah, well, that's Brian
so
Wilson.
We got to
fix
fix
the X
that.
Factor.
We have to fix that. So we got 60 from Bryce over there on the YouTube side. We got 13. Okay,
I got a 420. I don't know what that means, but that's too many numbers, gentlemen.
I do kind of like 16. I mean, I don't think Paulo Orlando is going to mind giving up his number so much.
You mean Hall of Famer Paulo Orlando?
Hall of Fame. Hey, World Series hero.
Paulo.
He suited up for them.
Paulo Orlando.
33 is open. That could be kind of fun. It's not that far off for him. But
somebody said 43 too.
I don't know. I can't disrespect the career and legacy of Pat Venditti.
Yeah, I mean the amphibious pitcher.
31. Oh, because you're saying 31 because Jock will be traded. Is this insider information, Zed?
My. He's MLB insider. We have broken the case.
Oh, you're what is it? Your average. I thought it said you're a savage. Your average orange says 66. Ouch. That was the painful round.
That's
guys.
too soon. That guy says let's retire number 66, which I wouldn't go that far, but
19 for the year. 19 is retired. 45 like Mike.
420 for Bellinger.
8 or 24. 8 is open. 24 is retired.
Can you wear 16 though?
Well, his number has always been 7. That's what he likes. He likes number 7.
Yeah.
He could give Julio a banger watch, but I like Julio in 7.
But the Andre Ethier stands, they don't like to see anybody else wearing 16. Man.
I think it'll be okay. I mean, he was already out of 16. When the guy. Yeah. When he took over. Yeah. Number 666. I like it. I did like 27, but
good.
Yeah,
still hurts a little bit.
That's the unimportant thing because again we have no source, we have nothing. Bryce Harper is a free agent and he is not a Los Angeles Dodger.
No one knows
as
where
of this recording. But I hope everybody on the side to my left and to my right are paying attention to the tweets and making sure nothing has happened.
Because that would really suck if we missed that and everyone's thought. I'm sure somebody in the comments would let us know.
The only thing I'm getting on my phone that says Dodgers Nation is live now and Dodgers Nation is live.
You should watch them. You should check it out.
I never heard of them. I hear they're really handsome. Especially the guy, especially the larger handsome boy. The larger.
More to love. That's all it is.
Hey, for SD Dodger, we can't do it. He can't have number 7 because he has 3 Julio jerseys. It's all right. You just got to tape it off. You put it on there,
fine.
Harper.
You just put the little duct tape
Easy
on
money.
there, right?
Easy.
So, speaking of not having any inside information and not knowing where Bryce Harper is going to sign.
Oh, we're talking about MLB Insider again?
No. That's not where we're going. So, if we threw up a question on our Twitter that said, if in the contract we were able to offer him something specific to LA, a specific LA perk.
I did like this.
And it was awesome to see the responses that came from this. There were a lot of unlimited in and out responses, which I would definitely, I would take that contract, but that's probably not going to be great for his health in the long term, so we'll probably steer clear of that.
YOLO.
But that is a good question. What kind of perks could we offer to Bryce Harper in his contract that are specific to LA? And I will pull up a couple of them for you, and let's hear what you think, because that was the very first one.
Helicopter.
The very first
he
response.
needs that Puig-copter.
Helicopter service to avoid traffic.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
He needs a Puig-copter.
You could do that, right? Like if he wants to live in Malibu and then take the helicopter to work.
That, or he gets his own Iron Man suit and he could just fly in.
Did Tony Stark live in Malibu?
I think it was.
He did, right?
Yeah.
You guys are nerds, right? Yeah.
Nerds
say yes.
Hey. I resemble that remark.
I resemble that. This guy said Elon Musk will build him a tunnel from his house to the stadium. I think Elon is all aboard that train.
No,
he's already digging
actually, that one's going to be Frank McCourt.
There you go.
I was going to say Zed McCourt because that's another guy we don't like.
At Marcus Pro on Twitter said, says, I'll buy him 5 King Taco Sopes.
That is a bargain I will sign for your team.
I think I already told you I've never been to King Taco.
God, you're terrible.
If somebody could take
me
to King
Taco. Why are you
Taco,
so terrible? Gary's going to take you right
dude,
now.
You know how white people
and that's
are.
been the show, guys.
You know how white people be. See, now he's just yelling at us. Christian Sorensen actually had a really good one, and this one sold me, and I'm sure it would sell Harper if he tried it. I don't know if he's heard of it. He probably has. He had said free front of the line passes for Howlin' Ray's Chicken.
Oh.
And I don't know if you guys have been to Howlin' Ray's Chicken. It is some of the best chicken I've ever had in my entire life.
Are they a sponsor?
They are not a sponsor. However, we do individually and as a group very much love and enjoy eating at Howlin' Ray's. There is a ridiculous line, and it will take quite some time to get through. It is worth it at the end, I will tell you that. But if we could offer Harper just the front of the line Disneyland Fast Pass to the front of, can we say Disneyland on air?
So a key, so instead of like a key to the city, we present to Bryce Harper a key to the front of the line of just, let's say
a key to Howlin' Ray's.
Oh, he gets his own Howlin' Ray's.
Well, I mean, he can go inside it whenever he wants. There's got to be a guy working there, I guess. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Key to the city, and part of his contract stipulations, in the same way as a somebody who wants trade protection, partial no trade clause. I can veto these teams. His key to the city gives him unlimited front of the line access to these five places. Nice. 5 places in the city, and luckily Disneyland is in Anaheim, Orange County, really close to where the Angels play. So I wonder how that kind of became.
County lines are just like they're kind of weird.
Say they're myths.
They're not real. They're all social constructs, man.
If the Thomas guy tells me this is where a city ends, I go by the Thomas guy. That's right. At me, Google.
FRG knows things.
See, back in our day, we used to have to use a Thomas guide to get around. You guys know hey, Tim, you know what's up top.
You're speaking a different language,
up
man.
Top.
Richard says we could offer him a part in Space Jam 2, which would be great because he is reportedly a very big Lakers fan. And LeBron is going to be in Space Jam 2, obviously. We won't talk about the Lakers much on today's show because I'm trying to be happy and I'm trying to enjoy my life.
He can take Mike Muscala's starting position because that hasn't worked, or at least any part on there.
That'll go over real well.
Just saying.
That's all you have to offer to that conversation.
Get him unlimited head and shoulders. Oh, okay. Those weren't two things. Somebody says flip a coin. I don't know what we're flipping a coin about, but I'm gone. I'm gone.
This is a family
this
program.
This is an honest Christian program.
Flip a coin? What are you talking about?
I don't know how that works, but
that's Bellinger's brother.
Somebody
flip a coin.
Somebody had brought up to me. He's like, I know it. Actually, it was Jess saying, I can see when you guys have been drinking because you start to get red. No, most of the time we get red because we just start dying.
You guys in the comments occasionally throw in some of the funniest things I've ever read in my entire life, and I thoroughly appreciate that because sometimes I laugh so hard in here that I have to control myself.
Yeah, Scully fan says that role in Space Jam 2. A bunch of letters says a date with me. Yep. CJ Zotto says you old Thomas guy. That's right, I represent. So T.A. King's 11:48. He's gonna be out there the second time with me when I'm in Arizona. Says, "Hey, FRG, meet you at Purposito on the 16th." Down. We're gonna make that happen. I think a bunch of Dodgers Twitter people are gonna go to the Dodgers at or Cincinnati against the Dodger game on that Friday night, and we're gonna go ham. We're gonna stay up till 9:30.
9:30 a.m.
on a Friday.
A.m. Right?
Just saying.
You're talking about a.m.
Just saying. Anyways,
that was a lot of what ifs we can do for Harper to get him signed. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that was good. That was really entertaining.
And
so let's
quickly. I know because I've seen a couple of them. We're not going to get too much into it, but yes, Nolan Arenado did sign. What is it? 8-year, $260 million contract extension, and earlier. This is where kind of they start to overlay with one another because there was the conversation about, the Dodgers are out on everybody this offseason because they have their eye on a free agent Arenado for next season. So they're like, well, now that he's signing, is that why they're going after Harper? My inside sources, which are me, are saying no. But anyways, that's just my take, if you will.
Could have been, though. Justin Turner is getting pretty old.
Breaking news. Could have been.
I think Justin Turner's knees are I think they're like twice as old as he actually is.
Well, I mean, the drill holes and all that stuff are a little
it doesn't
bit
do
different.
well for it. So you never really know what's going on behind the scenes. It could have played into it. It probably didn't, but it could have.
So quickly then, what's the game plan assuming no Harper? What's the business as usual game plan in your opinion?
Well, it's funny you asked that because I don't know. So there was the conversation about Bellinger being a pretty heavily involved in right field. I think we go back to that, and I have no problem with that. I've talked about giving not Harper. See, now we're on Harper talk.
Cody.
I've talked about giving Cody a pretty long leash to find his swing, and I still stand by that. I still stand by that. You don't. I don't think. Would you say 2 months? 2 months is your leash for him?
I think 2 months is fair. Like if he can't hit, speaking of or he's speaking on hitting lefties, right. It's like you can't go that long into a career. Like he figured it out or don't figure it out.
Yeah. So we got him over there in right field. We got Peterson filling in and out in left field with between CT3, Kike. Kike and CT3 will also be rotating in and out at second base. You might see Barnes get a little bit of work at second base. You're going to see Muncy get a pretty decent amount of work at second base, and you're going to see Bellinger, Muncy, and Freese. We always forget about David Freese. That's a very common thing on these shows. We always forget about David Freese. We're going to throw him in there and make sure that we know he is actually going to play on this team in 2019. So those three guys will get some work in at first base.
And we're going to get the opportunity to say ice to meet you or deep fly ball from deep freeze or whatever deep stupid things that we do on our Twitter.
Deep frozen balls.
Our tweeter casts. Yeah. It's a thing we do.
Yeah, we say some pretty weird stuff on there that's not really funny. Or really funny.
Speak for yourself. I've been calling players human people when I don't know them in spring training.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm just saying. Apex323_ wants to know, why does Friedman run this team like his old Tampa Rays?
What is that's a little different. I would say that's a little different.
He's running him. I mean, depth. That's the biggest thing. Biggest takeaway between both teams is incredible depth and incredible landscapes in Arizona with Grandma. But I
need to settle a really big debate that's happening in the comments right now.
Oh, there's a mass debate happening?
Yeah, huge debate. It's a really fiery, passionate debate, and I got to stop this because I can't let you guys tear each other apart. Frank Talk LA and Jessa Moore are talking about the crooked canvas in the back.
That.
It is not crooked. It is
not.
Your angle because I just looked back at it because you guys confused me. But I appreciate your concern. And,
I brought out the level.
Did you?
I brought out the level.
The iPhone level or like an actual level?
An actual level.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Do you think I own an iPhone? I'm not one of those people.
I saw you change a tire today, so I know you can do things.
I can do things.
You can do things.
I'm a recovering mechanic. Shout out to your boy, Mr. Gary Lee over there. He had no tools, literally zero tools.
How do you live?
All right, Luke Wall has yelled at me enough. Towles. He's saying, what about Towles? Where is Towles in this? You know Towles isn't like reporting to spring training. We talked about this last week.
If he's not in camp,
yeah.
If he's not in camp right now, I don't expect him to be on the team when the season rolls around. At least initially, I don't expect that.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part. They still haven't really brought up what's going on with Towles. I think I've seen some chatter that really has no basis or any real source, but somebody's saying it might be his social anxiety or just a general anxiety acting up again. But I still think he would have shown up to spring training. But as of now, he's not reporting to spring training and is at the blessing of the team. They're fully aware and they support him not showing up. So it's something bad.
Yeah, for them to really not say anything at all to this point, even what are we over a week removed from that now?
Yeah.
For them to not say anything at this point, it tells me it's probably a pretty serious issue, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is all speculation. We don't actually know. I don't think anybody actually knows except people involved in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look good from an outside viewpoint to miss the entire first week of camp and to not hear anything about it, considering you were in the running for at least a 25-man roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not expect to see him at this beginning of the season competing for a starting spot at least.
Absolutely. So I think it's about time we do that thing where we take a slight bit of a break. We do see some people talking about Kershaw. We'll get to that afterwards. But we have to point it out because it's here. It's happening now. We're heading to spring training this week. Like, actually this week. We've been talking about it forever.
Like tomorrow night, pretty much.
We've got Grandma packed up. We are taking off from Los Angeles County at about 3 in the morning on Thursday.
Sounds like Grandma's in a coffin or something.
On the movie Vacation where they just throw her on the top.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we're gonna go out there, hang with us out there, do whatever. If you're gonna be out there, find a way to get us. We're gonna be giving away some stuff. We might give away a Lajobu shirt for fun, but more likely, you might be able to snake one of these super sweet.
I thought you were doing a beer giveaway. I was like, I don't think you could do that.
I will give away this empty can.
Signed.
Wait, I'm almost there. But let us know. Actually, I want to know what you guys want to see, despite what restaurants and bars we're going to, because Papa Bear's going to tear that up. Let us know what you guys want to see on social media. We're going to do everything we can. We have like 80 of us going, so we're going to go pretty hard out there. But there is a way. There is a way you can join us in spring training. Take it away, FRG. This spring, follow your favorite teams to Arizona for Cactus League Baseball. And by favorite teams, of course, we mean your Los Angeles Dodgers. Amazing weather and landscapes, exciting outdoor adventure, incredible food. Arizona is the perfect home base for baseball fans.
10 stadiums, 15 MLB teams, 75-degree temperatures. All 10 stadiums are within 50 miles of one another in the greater Phoenix area. You can meet and actually interact with the players and even get autographs before or after games. The fan experience truly cannot be rivaled when out at spring training.
And there's so much to do and see nearby. Arizona is they're known for the incredible landscapes, thrilling outdoor adventures, or so they tell me. So why not check off some of those must-see destinations from your bucket list, like the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, Horseshoe Bend, maybe even go to Horseshoe Bend twice, you never know. So many more options.
Yeah, and check out amazing restaurants and bars nearby, including tons and tons of craft breweries like Four Peaks, Angel's Trumpet Ale House, and Goldwater Brewing Company.
And my favorite part, obviously, breakfast. Breakfast is banging out there. Just saying it.
Arizona is super family friendly, and with half of the league in town, there's always something to do with the kids and even grandma.
Bring grandma. She'll love it. So plan your spring training getaway at visitarizona.com/spring training. That is visitarizona.com/spring training, or even download the Visit Arizona app on Google Play or the inferior Apple Store. So someone said they don't pay you to pre-record.
That was live. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we totally do that every time, exactly live, perfectly. Hold on, wait.
We have it well rehearsed.
Yeah, someone was supposed to come in and fix all my parts. I'm just saying.
Fix your parts.
Fix my parts. All right, so I think the other biggest thing that's going on, and I can tell you, I can let you know, Brooke, the sound is going properly.
It is. We are not muted.
We are not muted.
That's good. That's all
and someone is defending us. Dodgers Nation TV, we are defending ourselves over there on Twitch, saying these are live.
These are live.
These are live.
We're defending ourselves.
The biggest actual thing going on is Clayton Kershaw. He's got a bum shoulder. I was talking about it today, and we had it in like the little buffer before the show. That he's it's the lemon law right now on Kersh.
Was that burp a part of the
on Burp Shaw?
What is it, with the lemon law, you get your money back, don't you?
You would get your money back, and you wouldn't have got a lemon.
From Toyota Orange?
No, we don't like them. I'm more of a Longo guy.
Longo?
It's so bad. Or maybe not. We never know. But, Kershaw is down and out. He threw, and everybody was happy that he was the first guy to throw. I think I brought it up last week on the show, or I was talking about it internally at our Dodgers Nation Slack stuffs. All the video I saw of him throwing BP and live and whatever it was, he did not look good. Everything he was throwing, he looked flat. He was throwing like humpback sliders. They were very much not curveballs. He did not look right, and the way he was just kind of ho-humming through it with his like, oh yeah, whatever, it felt okay, I was okay.
Right.
Like, that's not really Kershaw. Normally, if he's feeling right, he'll be more like, oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. So everything led up to it, and then right away it's like, he's not throwing, he's being shut down, we're going to give him a day. And then now it's a start-stop thing going on. Right,
and the thing to remember is it is spring training, so there's a lot of stuff they're working on early on that they don't usually work on during the season. We talk about that changeup that he's always working on every spring and then never carries it into the season except maybe for like the first game. And with that, you got to remember he's not a kid anymore. He's a little older now, and he's gone through some back injuries.
So he's the guy who just got out of high school.
Yeah. But I kind of expected it. They talk about how he ramped up to his velocity, or there was an attempt to ramp up his velocity or whatever. Roberts had kind of touched on it a little bit, that he was trying to get that speed back up on his fastball, and maybe that contributed to a little bit of shoulder soreness, a little more fatigue than he's used to. And so when he tried to pick up the ball again, he's very stubborn, and if he thinks he can throw, he's going to try to throw.
Yeah.
And I think he's not really realizing that his body does have limitations on it. So personally, I wouldn't subscribe too much. I wouldn't put too much to it. At least for the next week or so. If we don't see him in a live action, actual game coming up within the next week or so, that's when I'm going to start to get a little bit concerned. Because even after today, Roberts had said, no, we fully expect him going forward to be an opening day starter. We fully expect that. He's always been our guy, which is the very, managerial thing to say to the press. You never want to be like, oh, he's done, immediately. Like, he's screwed, So it's something to watch. It is concerning, though. It is, at least to some extent, concerning because we've never seen that from him in spring training.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's getting older, or he is older now. I can attest to this. I threw my own pretend bullpen session on Sunday, and my elbow is hurting so much right now. I'm just saying. But as you get older, things just don't work right, and especially after taking so long in the off season, you take that much time off, even though it's a shorter off season, as they do like to say. And then beyond that, him trying to regain the velocity, like they were saying, they kind of tiptoed around that he did some things in the off season to try to regain the velocity, or as he said, regain some of the stuff that he lost.
Right.
And that does a lot if you're doing extra work and clearly either not doing enough with the shoulder or whatever it was that he actively did. It put him behind the curve so far in the spring trainings, more than ahead of the curve. So we had asked it about on our DN Twitter here. What is it? What's your level of concern regarding Clayton Kershaw? The options were he'll work through it. I wrote this, by the way. Much concern, very unwow, and sort of saw it coming. Of which you subscribe to the sort of saw it coming.
Sort of.
Same here. And that's how I voted on my own poll.
You voted on your own poll?
Yes.
Is that legal?
Is that even legal?
You can't vote for yourself, Leslie.
But 39%, the winner, 36% was sort of saw it coming, but 39% were of the concerned variety. I also am concerned, of course. That's the guy who's supposed to be the opening day starter. And he's going to do everything he can, even if he shouldn't be doing it. He's going to do everything he can to get that opening day start.
Well, I've got some great news for you.
Wait, do you want a noise?
No, not really.
You got one anyway.
It's a bike bell. It kind of makes.
That's literally what says bike bell.
I'm like delivering like a newspaper, like I'm a kid on a bike route or something.
Well, yeah, it's good news. It's breaking news.
It's good news. It's not really breaking news. I'm just reminding you that
Paperboy.
Yeah, that's me. If he can't go on opening day, if he's not ready to go, we have a tremendous pitching staff behind him. Considering
Brock Stewart
will be your opening day starter somewhere. I don't know where, but. You have Walker Buehler who will step up and start opening day. And opening day is not.
It means nothing.
It means nothing anymore. It's it's like calling somebody your ace. It doesn't have the same meaning behind it as it used to. Your ace used to be the guy.
I love you to someone. Yeah, it doesn't mean
same thing. Yeah, but it used to be. It used to be your ace started on the opening day, and your ace was the guy you went to for every major game. And it's not that anymore. It's more of a ceremonial type of role, which is fine. It doesn't. It's not super important, but. We have Walker
F.N. Buehler.
Gary would have something else different to say to that, but
because it's not as cold in here this time.
You guys didn't hear him this time. But Walker Buehler as your alternative, I think, is the best case scenario in the history of sports injuries.
And then like the contingency plan beyond that, like you had said much earlier. What about if he's out for a month, which in the grand scheme of things. Isn't the end of the world. Like we're talking about this arbitrary day of opening day. Like I've personally been saying all offseason, I don't want Corey Seager to start opening day. There's no reason to rush the kid. 1 day, 1 week does not mean anything. No. If he's at 70% by the end of spring training, by the time Freeway Series, like if he's not playing in the games during the Freeway Series, then there's a huge problem.
Right.
Unless it's shutting down for maintenance or load management. LeBron can't even defend. Anyway. Then, no. Not talking about that. Go to our friend over there, Bergmann Raw. But we have a wealth of backup options to let him take his month, whatever it may be. He's going to miss time during the season anyways. He's missed time each of the last, 3-4 seasons with moderate injuries that have sidelined him for a month or so. So you could plug in now. You have Ross Stripling, who was an all-star last year. Just saying.
He was. I mean, he was an all-star in the first half. Which is, if you
still says all-star in his baseball reference.
It does on there. When you look at their potential for starting pitchers, they got like 9 guys on their staff that could be, high-level starters on any major league team. We're just at a point where they can't be on this team. Caleb Ferguson, I think in my mind, he's I don't know. Last year told me more that he's built for relief, and that's probably going to be the case throughout his career. But even most of the projections across baseball have him pretty high up in terms of standards for a starting pitcher. So worst case scenario, the next guy up, you got Rich Hill, who's aging pretty quickly. I think,
but gracefully.
The beard, very gracefully.
By the way, sidebar on that beard game so far in spring training is strong.
Oh yeah,
Pryor's got it going nice. Yeah. One day, Joe Davis is hoping to be able to grow a beard. Friend of the show, of course. Of course, Richie Hill always looks fly with his beard that he started growing last year. And just saying, proud of that. Russell Martin's beard. I'm sure Scott Van Slyke
Russell
somewhere.
Martin also doesn't have the man bun anymore, which I really appreciate. I'm glad he left that in Canada or whatever it was.
Those are different times.
Yeah, it was really weird.
But my contingency plan, my sort of thing, I was looking at it, or the way I was looking at it.
This guy said beard game equals confirmation of Harper. They're right. They're planning for the Beard Brothers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
good,
good job.
I like that.
That's you know what? That's a couple of points.
A couple points for you there, David.
He's so far the clubhouse leader in the stream. We're proud of you. If he's out, let's say Kershaw's out for a month. There's been this talk or the expectation that Julio Urias is likely going to start the season in AAA. Now you have a way to plug him in as the 5 guy, which I'm fine with. If we're going Buehler, Hill, Ryu, and Maeda, you have Stripling as the 5 guy. So what I'm saying, what I like the idea of if Kershaw's out, go to a 6-man rotation to start the season. Everybody gets some time. Everybody can stay a little bit more healthy.
Right.
Of course, I mean, there are more days off in the beginning of the season, so that's where you don't need the 5th guy. Or in this case, you wouldn't need the 6th guy, but you're able to find a way to still sort of mitigate the innings for Buehler. You don't want to overwork Blister McGee super early. Blister Dick Mountain.
It's too soon, man.
Too soon. Hey, he says he got it all. It's all fixed. He pees on it every day or something like that.
Use lasers on him.
Yeah,
Sharks with laser beams on their head.
Frickin' laser beams.
Laser beams.
But I like Julio as the 6th starter, and then he could get some MLB time, kind of see how it's going, and then Kershaw, knock on plywood yet again, if he's back and healthy, insert him wherever he can go.
Yeah, I mean, you have plenty of options. There's so much that can go on with or without Kershaw. If if you have him in the rotation and he's healthy, great. You don't really have to change much. You have a lot of options. You're very flexible in the bullpen. You're very flexible in the starting rotation. But if he's out, you can kind of keep him out for as long as you need to let him heal, because you're going to have a lot of those guys. Now, there was last year where we had almost the same situation, and a lot of our starting rotation died. They all disappeared to the point where we didn't expect to see Walker Buehler in the first 2 months of the season, and yet there he was, and then he carried the team for the whole year. But it's a little different now. We lost Alex Wood, so
yeah, and he was the only guy who maintained. I think they gave him a pity DL stint at one point.
Yeah, and it wasn't even really necessary, but they gave it to him anyways.
So
it's good to have the depth, which we've experienced. It's very good to have the depth. I think sometimes we take it for granted. We look at that and we say we have too much pitching. I don't think that exists exactly.
Never too much pitching.
And we have a lot of flexible options in the bullpen, which I think is fantastic. And I think it's going to do wonders for us throughout the course of the year, especially with how good we are at manipulating that IL. Injured list instead of disabled list.
Yes.
So I'm not calling it the IL, man.
I'm never going to call it the IL. People have already seen now in spring training, Dustin May looked pretty wipeout in his short amount of time.
His hair.
The Ginger Thor, as they call him.
Fire flowing from the back of his head.
He's a large gentleman.
Yeah, he throws, mid to upper 90s. He cranks those fastballs in there, man, with some Walker Buehler type of movement on him. We've only got to see the angles from the spring training cameras, which are garbage. I don't know why they can't do a little bit better on those. Whatever.
We're going to do that for you guys.
Exactly.
We're going to record the entire game and then get shut down.
And then he's got that nasty breaking ball that he mixes in with it. And I think that, I think SD Tim's been talking about this guy for a while. We keep calling him SD Tim. His name's Tim Rogers. We got to give him the credit he deserves. He's been talking about May for a while and how much he'd love to see them hold on to him, especially when we're in the midst of trade season. It's a good call. Looking at him, I think he's going to be really special. I think he's going to be Thor-esque, as in Noah Syndergaard-esque.
Yeah, he's got stuff, and he's going to continue to get better.
You don't know how hard he's going to throw in 2 or 3 years, because he is still relatively young. You don't know how he's going to develop, but he's definitely not going to throw easier.
No.
So there's that.
He's not going to throw no 89-mile-an-hour Kershaw fastballs.
No, he won't do that.
He's
going to throw some heat, and heat's the name of the game right now.
And then we'll go out and sign James Loney to add to the bullpen rotation.
Man, he's going to be our closer in 4 years.
No James Loney? Rude, y'all. Y'all are a bunch of rudes in that. But yeah, all right. So what? Already 3-1 in Cactus League play. They did lose today, being Tuesday, as we know.
Today Tuesday.
What? Yes. Podcast side it's Wednesday, but
live from Pasadena every Tuesday. Yep.
And in Arizona this Thursday. Just saying. Are you liking what you're seeing out of camp so far?
Camp. I was like,
or Kemp. Kemp already went dong over there for Cincy.
He did. We don't have to talk about that. It hurts my soul too much. Yeah. Yeah, so we see Russell and Austin working with the pitchers, and Austin Barnes is actually hitting, which is weird. Russell Barnes actually hitting.
Yeah, he's getting some ribbies.
And you talked about it a little bit, how comfortable he looks being back in Dodger Blue.
Yeah, he just, the Bulldog himself, the real Bulldog, @Real Bulldog, Oral Hershiser went on a bit of a rant about it. Just the difference that quality veteran backstop can do for somebody like Dustin May. May was throwing to him, if I'm not mistaken, and he's like, hey, just, calm down, hit me here, don't worry about anything else, don't worry about, the poor camera angle being on you.
That's what he was really stressed out about.
Focus on that glove.
Yeah.
Smack my glove. Smack my bishop. It's a fine song by Prodigy back in the day. It's about chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about Russell Martin being back in LA, getting back on subject. He does look very comfortable. He does look like he, it's weird to say matured over the course of a year, but he does look like he's a lot more comfortable in his skin being back with the Dodgers. He looks a lot more comfortable handling the staff, and I think he's, you talked about how last year is not going to be like that, and you can't really get much worse than that. So what's really the risk we're taking here?
So I watched one of the games. I think I watched the opening game, the first Cactus League game, and then later that day on Spectrum they had throwback game, whatever they do, the games in under 1 hour.
Right.
Shout out to John Hartung, and there was of course then Monty Grandal as the catcher, and I just felt dirty. I really did feel uncomfortable seeing him back as a Dodger. And still, there's no doubt we know that he's one of the top catchers in baseball and offensive catchers in baseball. But it just feels like such a difference not having that bad blood or whatever it was, just that bad juju, that bad jobu in the locker room, if you will.
Yeah, we'll have to get a sense from the players of what the clubhouse chemistry is right now.
Are you happier without Yasmani?
Did you hate Yasmani? No, it's going to be a little different right now because, as they say, this early in camp, the kids are still in town.
Yeah.
So, locker room chemistry is a little different. You don't have the same conversations going on. You have a lot of the older guys talking to the younger guys. Towards the end of spring training, you see the locker room thin out. Yeah. Like that scene in Major League when they get their red tags in their locker and they start disappearing one by one, going to the backfields. But it'll be interesting to see how they feel because they do look a lot more comfortable. They look a lot more enjoyable. And me watching them, I felt, you're right. There is just kind of a bad juju surrounding Yasmani Grandal. And when you see him behind the plate, you're kind of just like, And, part of it is just how the season ended for us. And, the way he walked away, not good. But going back to how camp has been going, just in general.
No, I said we're talking about camp.
Camp, yeah.
Yeah.
Spring camp.
With
Yimi
Grandma.
Garcia.
Jimmy looks like he's a man on a mission.
He does. And, we've discounted him a couple times now. We've kind of counted him out a few times, and you had put your faith in him a few times, and then you were like, never mind.
He was supposed to be the original What Baez became. That was supposed to be sort of
I had to follow that one to make. Yeah. I got you.
Well, you've been drinking. We know.
Yeah,
See, Jess, you know what? I'm seeing now the difference. I get it.
Look how red I am. That is crooked, by the way. But Yimi, he's been lights out. I mean, he's only pitched 2 innings.
I know, right? We're talking about two games against the Scrubs.
Okay, 2 games against the Scrubs, but he's looked good. He's got life on his fastball. He has not given up a hit. He has not issued a walk. He's struck out 4 out of 6 batters. And he just looks like he looks different. And he's had a lot of injuries to battle back from. He's had a lot to working against him. He had what's that guy's name? Wilmer Font blocking his path to the major leagues for a little bit as the long reliever, young guy type deal.
Do you remember Wilmer Font actually got the 25th spot on the roster?
He did.
And he pitched to an 11.5 ERA in 12 games.
Okay, but to be fair, they pitched him so much that he had to.
He had that one game where he threw 4 innings against the Diamondbacks.
And
he allowed 1 run, and it was oh, maybe he's figured it out. And then it was nope.
Oh no, yeah, because he had allowed the walk off.
Yeah, because I remember back in the day,
I pitched 85 pitches in this game.
That was the pre Blue Heaven days. That was the Happy Fun Time Sports days, and we're doing video shows. And I remember me putting together awful pictures of. Well, I always went to Wilmer Valderrama because why not?
Yeah, a little different.
You guys didn't watch. Actually, surprisingly, they did. But you know what? Yeah, when in Rome.
Yeah. Another big name. Well, not a big name. Another name coming out of camp
another human person name.
Exactly. That we've gotten to watch. Stetson Alley. That's how you say his last name, right? Have we established how you say his last name?
It looks like Ali to me.
Ali. Prince Ali. I think we get sued by Disney for singing that. But so if you look at a picture of him,
strong as 10 regular men and a Wendy. 1,000 bad guys with swords.
Yeah, there's that part.
100 bad guys with
That's
swords.
what it is. Yeah, there it is. So
who sent those goons to their lords? Our Prince Ali.
So this has turned into the Disney Fun Hour.
Do you guys how many golden camels did he have? You let us know in the comments below.
17? Oh, I don't know. 75. Yeah. Stetson does not look like your typical major league reliever. Let's put it at that. We don't have a graphic of him, but if you want to Google him, he is not. He looks like he works on a farm.
Open a new tab.
He looks like he works on a farm. That's the best way I can put it.
But so Josh Fields or
no, like
Josh Fields looks like he.
Josh Fields looks like a redneck a little bit, but like Stetson looks like country bumpkin, man. Like he's like big country gravy would be his nickname.
Like he's got a Ford, but the O fell off.
Ford.
Like a 60s Ford.
But he's cranking,
Word.
you know.
Word.
They've talked about his fastball potential. Apparently, he can reach triple digits with ease. I've heard. I think he was hitting 98, 99 today when he pitched. He's in the same boat as Yimmy. He 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and he's kind of just been blowing it by people. So that's a guy to watch because I think he's now on the 40-man roster, isn't he?
I don't think so. I think he's an NRI now.
Well, now I got to look for it.
Now you got to do things. You got to do work.
Anyways, he's a guy to watch in the future. You know, if you got a guy who can touch triple digits, he is a non-roster. But if you got a guy who can touch triple digits, he's worth watching, especially in a relief role, because you know that's fast.
So and
he's 27, so he's pretty old.
Yeah, you see him getting some time then. Probably old people.
Maybe.
You see him
he's definitely getting September time.
All right,
he'll definitely get September time, which doesn't mean a lot when you're 28, but it's worth something because he has not made his major league debut yet, as of today. That's what I've seen out of camp. I've also seen some. You know, you talked about starting against the scrubs. The starting rotation has not allowed a run in the 4 games. They pitched 4 games in 4 innings, and they haven't allowed a run. So pretty solid.
Jess says we need a beer sponsor ASAP.
Jess, if you know anybody who wants to, what is that one? Belching Beaver. They
back in my day, we used to call that something different. I'm just saying.
Well,
Old Stump Brewery was somebody. Something somebody suggested. I can't get it in the hole. I'm sorry. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. The cans, you know, you got to work it in.
Yeah, well, I should have not opened it first.
That's why, that's why they pay you the big bucks, man. You're always thinking one step ahead, except when you're not.
So, dude, DJ Peters.
I didn't know where you're going with that. I got a little nervous. DJ Peters, by the way, an absolute unit of a man.
That is a girthy fella.
A girthy. All right. So
is that not
just to give it some background?
The right descriptor for that gentleman.
That guy looks like a tree. He's 6'6", and I mean his Baseball Reference says he's about 225. I'm gonna place him probably about 240 or 245 right now.
Well, yeah, I think they said that he BSOLA or whatever. You know the letters.
Best shape of life.
I think they said that he did a lot this offseason and then in like later in the season last year to get his body into that better shape. Like he worked to put on some more mass.
You like push a train?
It definitely yes. He lifted
like that one.
Several trees. I know I had to like normally he doesn't laugh at things you say.
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
Like he's shunning you as the new guy.
2 today.
We're proud of you. Look at that. Now you're in the lead.
This laughter sponsored by Miller Lite.
I knew you'd like it. I figured that was the whitest beer I had in my trunk.
I'll drink anything, honestly.
That's right. We'll drink anything. So beer sponsors, let us know in the comments below.
He's got 60 grade power, and he actually has a pretty decent arm, which I haven't seen. But,
yeah, dude, he hosed the dude down at home plate. And it's no. Who's that guy that used to play for the Dodgers? Raul Mondesi.
There's a lot of guys that used to play for the Dodgers.
I was going to go Puig because I want people to be like, Puig.
His comparison on his scouting profile is that he's built a lot like Aaron Judge, but he does have a very naturally long swing, which has resulted in a lot of strikeouts. He led the Cal League with 189 strikeouts.
Cal League?
Cal.
I know you said Cal.
K-A-L.
That we're going.
C-A-L.
M-O-U-S-E.
189 strikeouts is a lot in the minor leagues. I mean, especially when they're...
CT3 said, hold my beer.
Yeah, well, it's a little different. They're throwing like 89 instead of 98 down there. But he has hit, like,
how many, like 56 home runs over the past 2 minor league
Yeah,
seasons?
I think he's leading the organization in home runs over the last couple of years. The average definitely took a big dip last year, but he's I think he's a Glendora boy. He's close.
He is.
He worked with the Dodgers all off season as much as he can.
Yep.
He could. So he got that FaceTime with JT. It looks like he has almost that like just kind of drop your hands and chop at it swing, sort of akin to, let's say, Scott Van Slyke. I see a little bit of that, but with definitely a lot more pop, and I think the average will be there. The more time he's able to spend with Rob Van Scoyoc and our boy Brownie Brandt, I think it's really going to help the dude out. He's not targeted for this year. This is a fun time for Peters, but that's one of the big things. Like, you're looking at this Harper thing, and you want to throw all this money at Bryce, and you're just blocking kids like this. You're blocking Verdugo, who is 3 years running, like one of the top 3 prospects on the Dodgers and the top 50 dude in all of baseball.
It's been a while since he should have been at least given a shot at a starting role. He's never had a shot at a starting job.
No.
Or even a bench spot, for that matter.
No, and he shouldn't get a bench spot. The kid needs to play. He needs to prove himself.
Yep.
He's an immensely talented athlete, and there's no reason for him to not be getting something of an opportunity. I'm just saying. SoCal Ricky Bobby says school's out, so that's important.
SoCal Ricky Bobby.
I'll drink to that.
School's out.
But I don't know where else to go.
Yeah, going back to Peters a little bit too. I think I kind of had likened him to a right-handed hitting Jock Peterson in the sense that Jock Peterson.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in the sense of when he first showed up and hit all those home runs, but struck out a lot, but also walked a lot. That's kind of how DJ is built. Mm-hmm. He's gonna hit a long ball. He's gonna go deep a lot, but he is gonna walk a lot. He did lead the league in walks as well, even though he also led the league in strikeouts and home runs. He's a very deep statistical person there.
He's sort of like that throwback. Who's the big dude who was a Red and then he signed with
Adam Dunn?
Yeah, he's like that throwback Adam Dunn type.
Oh, big boy Adam Dunn. That guy was big.
He's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go work
Adam
out,
Dunn?
And he grabs an axe, like that kind of dude.
And like hit cars with it, not even trees.
I don't know. Actually, that's kind of easier to chop through a car.
Dude, they're made out of metal.
You don't understand. I've played
Adam
a lot
Dunn
of Street
was
Fighter.
6'6", 285.
I've played a lot of Street Fighter.
That's a big boy.
I literally punched all of the parts off of a car on Street Fighter. I'm just saying.
That's a lot easier.
No, yeah, but I do see a lot of Adam, a lot of Dunny in there. He's gonna strike out a bunch. He's still gonna have he's gonna hit like 315 or 215, but have a 400 on base.
Adam Dunn had a 222 strikeout year.
That's impressive. You know what? That's like
in 539 at bats, he struck out 222 times. That's impressive.
Something for CT3 to aspire to.
Yeah, if only, maybe next year you can always.
We have Choppy32 saying swings like Jay Gibbons. Dodger fan Nacho, I do agree. Bryce has proven Verdugo isn't, but is that really his own fault? Like, you can't fault Verdugo for being unproven if he hasn't had a chance to prove himself.
Here's a question from Juan Cuevas 1216. I said it backwards. It's Cuevas Juan, but he says if Harper comes,
give me the Bruce Hoffer.
Mm-hmm. Name me the starting outfield.
Gentleman.
There's somebody named Gentleman.
Bob
Gentleman.
Bob Gentleman. It would have to be Belly. What's his name? Polak. That's what you called him, right? Pollock.
Don't
and then
call him Polak.
Harper, Pollock, Bellinger. I did it for the camera, so that's right field is Harper.
Stage left.
No, it was for the camera.
Oh, DJ Peters is now hitting us up.
Wow,
that's
DJ,
cool. We'll
DJ
talk to him
Peters
eventually.
was apparently listening to us on this
he
show.
knew we
Thanks,
were talking
DJ.
about him. He must have heard the Adam Dunn comparison.
He's like, how dare they? he's like, wife, pen a letter.
Pen a letter? Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
I tell my old lady that all the time.
That was really good.
She's like, what?
So one more time. Name your starting outfield for us one more time. I wasn't listening to you.
Right field at number not 34, Bryce Harper.
Bruce Harper.
Bruce Harper. Pollock for sure is going to be in center,
Mm-hmm.
and Bellinger's going to get the lion's share in left field. And Belly came up playing left field for the Dodgers.
He did.
He had his
when
moments.
Gonzo went down,
Yeah.
and then came back.
He had his moments where it didn't quite work out. He kind of, youthful exuberance, or whatever it is. He overran a ball, which is the biggest one I think would stand out in people's minds. But it's a solid outfield. But I also still really like the outfield of Bellinger, Pollock, and in left field, Verdugo. And I mean, CT3. CT3 was the starting outfielder for most of 2017. And he's potentially going to be a good amount of starting second baseman in 2019. And
do you remember when we moved CT3 to the outfield and everyone was like, what is happening? Like, he's an infielder.
Is that even legal?
He was just like phenomenal, like immediately phenomenal. And people were like, we didn't know he had that strong of an arm. We didn't know he had that kind of range. He looks kind of awkward, but he's really fast.
Wait, how did Jess know that I had trunk beers?
Did you say trunk beers?
No, I did not. I told you guys. Which one of you guys is Jess? I knew it. Zed was Jess Amore the entire time.
I told you she's in my burner account. I already said that. You remember how she's always hyping me up? So
friend of the show.
It's just myself hyping myself
Well,
up.
then stop hanging up those posters crooked. I don't know. Just assume. They don't look cold.
She's there.
You know when a beer is cold. Just saying. But she nailed it. Definitely. Walker should be starting pitcher. There, I said it.
He should be a starting pitcher.
He is starting pitcher. Just saying. Just saying.
Good call there.
Man, we are just nailing the end of this show. I think it's about that time.
How did everybody else get drunk?
Yeah, like I've seen a number from people accusing us of being drunk. It's like, no, we're
one
just
beer. I'm just having a good time, guys. I don't know about you.
Hey, I'll drink to that.
Cheersies.
Chee. Oh, you're too far.
I got him.
All right, Gary, get over. No, don't get over here.
I'll get over.
I'll throw you my empty can. But that's what we're about, guys. We don't take this show super seriously. We know what we're talking about. We have fun. That's paramount here at Dodgers Nation Blue
Paramount
Heavens.
Pictures.
Not at the table FRG built. You won't speak this way. Because I built this table. That's where you guys can see all the odd
plywood
spots. Hey.
This looks really good on camera.
Oh, yeah. It looks great on camera.
You guys should come feel it. That's
Please quote that at the end of the show.
You guys should come feel it.
You guys should come feel it.
That's a good,
the recently married Brook Me 3.
That's a good spot to end it, probably, right?
Yeah. We'll do that for your current wife.
I appreciate that. She's not going to like that.
Let's just hope she didn't make it to the end. You guys can find us with Dodgers Nation on the Internet Machine. We are DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. We're on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm not even going to say the other ones. I know you guys don't use those. Who uses Google Play to listen to podcasts?
I use Google Play.
Way to go. With your grandma?
With my grandma.
With grandma.
We backed her up, but we're listening to her. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. I am at BrookMe3. This guy over here is at RealFRG.
Better, yeah.
A huge thank you to our crack production team at ZJames_ over here on my left, your right, and Mr. Gary Lee over there in the corner behind me.
He gets a clap.
There you go.
For interrupting us like 3 times today.
Exactly. Thank you guys all for all of your questions.
Thanks to DJ Peters.
For DJ Peters, too. For all of your questions, for all of your comments, and for all of the great laughs this evening.
Yep. And thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to be back soon. We're going to be back on Thursday, guys. We're in spring training this week. This weekend, this week, all that stuff.
They're going to get so sick of us.
Thursday will be live. Sunday will be live.
Yep.
And I think we're also going to throw in a couple of live streams. We're going to do some fun stuff at the park. But for sure, podcast-wise, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.